I just discovered my new favorite cut to make pulled pork, and today we're gonna cook 2 of them. Recently I went to the grocery store to grab a pork butt to cook just to make some pulled pork to have around the house. You can really use it for about anything. Because of a sale when I got there, they didn't have any more butts, but they had picnic roasts, which I had never cooked before. But I gave it a shot and I absolutely loved it. So today we're cooking 2 of them. The picnic shoulder comes from the lower part of basically the bicep to the elbow on a pig. There are a few reasons I absolutely love it that I'll tell you when we're pulling this thing apart, but to begin with, let's get it trimmed up, and that starts with that skin. The picnic shoulder is typically sold with the skin still on, so you can leave it on if you want, but we're gonna take it off. Right below that skin, there's a fat cap that you can either leave all the way on, there's a thin layer of meat in between there, or you can take it off and try to crisp that up to get some extra bark. This will take a little bit longer to trim and get ready to go on the smoker, but I think the payoff is worth it. Once you get the skin off, it's the basic, any large sections of fat on top of the meat you want to get off that you can, go for it. Any you want to leave it, let it render. We're gonna cook this overnight, so all this fat is gonna render perfectly. Once we get these trimmed up, there's nothing left to do but season them, and we're gonna use today Cosmos Q cow cover for a good savory hit. And of course, my favorite on pork, Cosmos Q Sweet Honey Pecan. You can't beat this on pork. And if you think you can, leave a comment down below. I wanna know, do you like this stuff? Because I love it. Once these are both seasoned up and looking great, we're gonna put these back in the fridge for a little while because, like I said, this is gonna be an overnight cook, and these aren't gonna go on until 10 o'clock tonight. And of course, we're gonna run them on the Char-Griller Gravity 980 cooker because it's built for overnight low and slow. At about 9 o'clock, we're gonna go ahead and light this off. We're gonna add a fistful of hickory B&B chunks to the ashtray and bring this cooker up to 250 degrees. When you're doing an overnight cook like this, you've got to be careful and make sure you don't get it too hot. A higher heat for as long as we're gonna let this go before we wrap it can burn those sugary rubs. So 250, I know this cooker's gonna keep at that or slightly below it, and we're gonna do great. At 10 o'clock, we put it on and go to bed. When we get up at 6, you can see the color on this thing is an absolute beautiful deep red. And we're gonna wrap these up super simple today with some Cosmos Q cherry apple habanero rib glaze, a little bit of maple syrup, because who doesn't love maple and pork? And lastly, a little bit more of that sweet honey pecan in the wrap to fortify those flavors. Wrap it up tight, back on the cooker it goes for another 3 hours until we hit about 207 in these picnic shoulders. This is the easiest cook you can imagine because at this point all we have to do is put them in a cooler to let them rest until we're ready to pull them. And that's where the magic happens. The thing I don't care for as much about pulling a pork butt is, while yes, you have some magical muscle groups in there, like the money muscle, there's a lot of sinew and connective tissue between the different groups on that pork butt. There's also some muscle groups that get much more dry than some of the greater muscle groups on a pork butt. I feel like when it comes to this picnic roast, everything is about the same as far as moisture. That means when the center of this picnic roast is done, everything else is about on that same level, and I love that. That coupled with I don't have to fight so much sinew and fat to pick the meat out, and you get these long, strandy pulled pork pieces. Now, like I said, we are serving this to some people. So to doctor it up before we send it to them, we're gonna hit them with a little bit of sweet Cosmos Q OpEx 1 sauce, a little bit of vinegar sauce as well, just to give it some twang. Mix it up good. Give it a taste. I think we need just a little bit more vinegar. And then to finally really kick it up a notch, we're gonna come back and we're gonna mix in some Cosmos Q Honey Killer Bee. Now you just gotta trust me on this one, but with this final taste, this pulled pork is where it needs to be. This is an amazing low and slow overnight cook. But if you want something quicker, meet me over here. Let's go talk about a faster pork butt cook.